Welcome to ClickUp for Beginners, where we'll learn team project management from scratch. In this tutorial, we'll cover everything from ClickUp's hierarchy, spaces, folders, lists, tasks, to creating tasks, different views, list, board, calendar, Gantt, collaboration tools, comments, mentions, docs, and advanced features like goals, whiteboards, automations, dashboards, and templates. In short, you'll get a complete team project management walkthrough. Each chapter is packed with examples, on-screen demos, tips, and best practices. Here's our plan for the video. You'll find the timestamps right here so you can jump to any section you need. And quick heads up, if you want to try ClickUp, use my link in the description. It takes you straight to the official page where you can get started completely free. No credit card needed. It helps support the channel and unlocks the same setup I'll walk you through in this video. Let's get started with setting up ClickUp. You can register with an email and password or use Google or Microsoft single sign-on. Once you verify your email and log in for the first time, ClickUp will guide you through the onboarding process. If it asks you about your role or what you plan to use ClickUp for, fill that in. It just helps tailor the experience with relevant tips. Great. Now your ClickUp workspace is created. You should see the main ClickUp interface now. Next, we'll do a quick orientation of the UI so you know what's what. Navigating the ClickUp interface. When you first land in ClickUp, it can look a bit overwhelming. There is a lot on the screen. Don't worry, I'll break it all down for you. Left sidebar. This is your main navigation. At the very top left, you'll see the name of your workspace and a drop-down where you can manage spaces, settings, etc. Below that, you have sections like Home, Spaces, and possibly Favorites. Top bar. Across the top, you have a search bar for searching tasks, a quick action button plus task button to create tasks or other items quickly, and your profile settings on the right. There's also a views bar below the top bar when you're inside a space or folder. We'll cover views later. Main view area. The center of the screen is where content appears. Reminder, it's normal to feel there's a lot on the screen. Many new users feel ClickUp's interface is feature-rich but a bit cluttered, so you're not alone. As we go through actual use, it will start to make sense. And remember, you can collapse the left sidebar for more space and customize what you see in views. Chapter number 2, ClickUp Hierarchy. Spaces, folders, lists, and tasks. One of the first things to grasp in ClickUp is its hierarchy. This is how ClickUp organizes information from the top level down to individual tasks. Think of it like a pyramid or an outline. Workspace, the top level, e.g. your company, contains spaces like departments or big categories, which in turn contain folders, optional grouping within a space, often projects or sub-departments, which contain lists, collections of tasks, often one project or topic, a list of tasks, which in turn contain tasks, the actual work items, which can have subtasks, further breakdown of tasks. So there are 6 levels in total, including subtasks. Let's break it down in plain English with an analogy. Workspace. This is your entire organization's workspace in ClickUp. For example, GV Marketing is a workspace. Usually, you'll have one workspace for your whole team or company. It's the container for everything. Spaces. Within a workspace, we create spaces to organize at a high level. A space is often used for a department, a team, or a major function. For example, you might have a space for marketing, another for product development, and another for operations. Spaces are like big sections or departments in your organization. Each space has its own settings and can be private or shared with specific members. In your ClickUp sidebar, spaces are the colored top-level items. Folders and lists. Inside a space, you can use folders to group projects or categories. Folders are optional, but useful for grouping. For example, in the marketing space, you might have a folder for Campaigns 2025 and another folder for Content Calendar. If a space is small, you might not need folders and can put lists directly in the space. When you create a folder, ClickUp automatically gives it at least one list, because tasks live in lists. Lists. Whether inside a folder or directly under a space, lists are where tasks live. You can think of a list as a project or a topic that contains a bunch of tasks. Lists hold tasks that have a similar goal or category. Important. Tasks must live in a list. You can't have loose tasks floating at the space level. So you'll always either make a folder with lists or just lists directly. Tasks. This is where the actual work is described. A task is an actionable item, like design homepage mockup or write blog post on X. In ClickUp, tasks are rich. They have assignees, due dates, statuses, comments, subtasks, etc. Tasks are the most important level because that's your to-dos. We'll create tasks in the next chapter. Subtasks. If tasks need to be broken down further, you can add subtasks inside tasks, and even nested subtasks if you enable that ClickUp. For example, a task plan events might have subtasks like book venue, invite attendees, and arrange catering. Subtasks are essentially tasks within tasks, useful for complex activities. So graphically, it's workspace, space, folder, list, task, and subtask. If this seems abstract, let's apply it to a real-world team scenario. Workspace, GV marketing. Space, marketing departments. Folder, campaigns 2025. List, spring product launch. Task, create launch video. Subtask, write script. Subtask, film footage. This hierarchy is flexible. Some teams use spaces for each client with folders for projects, etc. Find what makes sense for your team. A general tip, don't overcomplicate it. It's easy to create too many nested levels, which can confuse your team. Many new users feel lost if the hierarchy is too deep or changes too often. Keep it as simple as possible while still organized. For a small team, maybe you just use spaces as projects and lists for task lists. For a larger organization, you might use the full 6 levels. Let's create a new list. Navigate to your space. Click it in the sidebar. If you see a default list with some example tasks, feel free to delete those or clear them out. They're just tutorial prompts. To create a new list, click the plus icon next to space. Then click Lists. After that, give the list a name, like Demo Project or something relevant. Now you have a blank list ready for tasks. If you wanted to create a folder first, click the plus icon next to space, then click Folder. For now, one list is just fine. Hierarchy settings. Note that each space in ClickUp can have its own settings. Statuses, Click Apps enabled, etc. We'll touch on customizing statuses in the Workflows chapter. Just know that hierarchy levels inherit downwards. For example, if you set a custom status workflow on a folder, all lists in it use those statuses. Finally, a quick word on access. Spaces can be set to private or public to the workspace. If you need to limit who sees a space, you can adjust sharing. By default, new spaces are visible to all members. You can also share individual folders or lists with guests if needed, like a client. But that's advanced. We won't dive deep here. Just remember, structure your hierarchy in a way that team members have clarity where to find things and try to maintain consistency. Don't shuffle projects between spaces all the time. All right, you now understand the skeleton of ClickUp. Up next, we'll put meat on those bones by creating tasks and assigning them to your team. Chapter number 3, creating and assigning tasks. Tasks are the heart of ClickUp. In this chapter, we'll learn how to create tasks, assign them to team members, set due dates and priorities, and discuss some tips for managing tasks effectively. We'll do this step by step on screen. Creating a new task, step by step. There are multiple ways to create a task in ClickUp. Let's go through the most straightforward method for beginners, creating a task within a list. In your ClickUp sidebar, click on the list where you want to add a task. For our example, use the list we created. In the list view, you should see a plus task button depending on the view layout. Click plus task, or it might just show an empty task row to start typing. Type a descriptive name for your task. Example, design homepage mockup. Press enter. And congrats, your first task is created. Now, click on the task name you just created to open the task detail view. A panel or modal opens showing the task's details. Here, you can add all sorts of info. There is a text area to add a detailed description of the task. You can write instructions, requirements, or any info. It's like the body of the task. Supports rich text, checklists, even embedding stuff. Assign the tasks to someone responsible. On the task header, find the assignee field, usually a little avatar icon or unassigned. Click it and select a team member's name. If it's just you for now, assign it to yourself. You can assign multiple people if the multiple assignees ClickUp app is on. But be careful with that. Generally, one owner per task is clearer. Set a timeline if applicable. Click the start date and due date fields to pick the desired dates. The task will then display the scheduled time frame in the list and show reminders in Home when the due date approaches. Priority. You can set a priority, urgent, high, normal, low, by clicking the flag icon. This helps indicate importance. Status. Every task has a status, like open, in progress, complete, etc. By default, new spaces might have statuses, to do, in progress, done, or just open, closed. We'll talk about customizing statuses later. For now, just know that you move tasks through statuses as they progress. When you complete the task, you'd set status to done. Other fields. Depending on Click apps, you might see fields like time estimate, tags, and custom fields. Those are optional, you can just skip them for now. Subtasks and checklists. If your task has multiple steps, you can either add subtasks or create a checklist in the description. Attachments. You can attach files to tasks, design files, documents, etc. by dragging into the task or using the attachment button. For example, let's attach a mockup image to the design homepage mockup task. Comments. There's a common thread in each task where you and team members can discuss the work. We'll cover comments in the collaboration chapter, but just know where it is. At the bottom of the task view, you can type a comment and mention team members or even mention other tasks and docs. Go ahead and create a couple more tasks in your list to play around. Maybe task number 2, write homepage copy, assigned to a content team member, due date. Task number 3, review and approve design, maybe assigned to a manager, due after task 1 is done. Now you have a small list of tasks. You should see them listed in the list view with columns like status, assignee, due date, etc. You can drag and drop tasks to reorder them in the lists. A quick note on unique task IDs. You might notice each task has a tiny ID next to its name. ClickUp auto-assigns unique IDs to each task. This is useful for reference, but you don't really need to worry about it, just for your information. Organizing and finding tasks. As your task list grows, here are some tips. Statuses workflow. Move tasks through statuses as work progresses. E.g., when someone starts design homepage mockup, change status from to do to in progress. When done, mark it complete. Keeping statuses updated gives everyone a quick view of progress. Filtering. ClickUp allows filtering tasks by assignee, due date, status, etc. Reminders. If a due date is approaching, ClickUp will notify the assignee and watchers in their inbox. Users can also set reminders or use the calendar view to see upcoming tasks. Finally, remember that tasks can be moved if needed. If you created a task in the wrong list, you can open the task, click on its location, usually shown at top under the task name, and move it to a different list or folder. This is handy if you reorganize projects. Now, take a moment to reflect. You've created tasks, assigned them, and set some basic info. That covers day-to-day task entry. Next, we'll see how to view and manage these tasks in different views. ClickUp's views are super useful for visualizing your project timeline, Kanban board, and more. Chapter 4. Using views. List, board, calendar, Gantt. One of ClickUp's strengths is the ability to view your tasks in multiple ways without duplicating data. The tasks we created can be seen in a list view, which we're using now, a board view, Kanban style, a calendar view, and a Gantt chart, and more, all showing the same tasks, just arranged differently. You can switch between views using the views bar at the top of a space, folder, list. Let's try these out in our demo project. List view, standard task list. We've already been using list view. It's basically a spreadsheet-like list of tasks with columns for various fields. List view is great for a detailed look at all tasks, sorting and filtering them. It's like your default tasks view. In list view, you can see all tasks in the current list. Overall, list view is your go-to for detailed task management, especially if you love spreadsheets or need to see custom fields in columns. Board view, Kanban. Now let's switch to board view, which visualizes tasks as cards and columns. This is excellent for agile workflows or if you prefer Kanban boards, like Trello style. Board view places tasks in vertical columns based on a grouping, typically by status by default. Let's create a board view. In the views bar, top of your list, click plus view and select board. If board is already listed, just click it, but often you have to add it the first time. The board view will open, showing columns for each status: to do, in progress, done, etc. Under each column, you will see the tasks that currently have that status. For example, our design homepage mockup task might be in the to-do column initially. If you drag it into the in progress column, that changes its status to in progress. Drag and drop is super handy here for updating task status. Board view can also group by other fields. Click the plus add group by drop down. You could group by assignee. Each column equals one person, showing tasks assigned to them, or by priority. But usually, status is most common to visualize workflow. You can still add tasks in board view. Usually there is a plus icon button in each column to add a new tasks with that status. For instance, in the to-do column, click plus to add a new task. It will auto get status to do. This quick add is great for brain dumping tasks into appropriate stages. All task info, like assignee, due date, is visible on the task card. You can click a task card to open the full details if needed. Cover images on cards. If your tasks have image attachments, you can pin one as a cover, and board view can show it like a Trello card cover. Not crucial for functionality, but nice for visual projects. Subtasks on board. You might wonder how subtasks appear. By default, subtasks might show as separate cards if they're set to appear in the parent view. This is configurable. There's a toggle for showing subtasks as separate or rolled up. Advanced details, so if you don't see subtasks on board, it may be rolled into the parents. Board view is excellent for daily stand-ups or agile teams to see what's in each phase. For example, a software team can have columns: backlog, in progress, in review, done, and drag tasks along as they move through development. Calendar view. Next, calendar view. This view shows tasks on a calendar by due date or start date. It's fantastic for scheduling and seeing workload over time. Add a calendar view. Click plus view again. Choose calendar. This screen will show a calendar, maybe monthly view by default. You will see tasks as colored blocks on their due dates. For instance, if design homepage mockup was due on Friday, it will appear on that date on the calendar. You can select the time period by day, 4 days, week, or month. ClickUp supports start and due times if you want to schedule tasks on a specific hour. Drag and drop tasks on the calendar to reschedule. If the design tasks needs to be postponed from, let's say, Friday to next Monday, just drag the item to Monday. This will change the due date of the task accordingly. This is a quick way to adjust timelines. If tasks have a start date and due date, they will appear as a bar spanning multiple days on the calendar. Calendar settings. You can color tasks by status or priority and filter which tasks show. Maybe only certain lists or only tasks assigned to me. For example, if you only want to see high priority tasks on the calendar, you can filter by priority. Use case. Calendar view is useful for content calendars, planning project timelines at a high level, or just seeing what's coming due. Teams often use it to ensure not too many tasks are due the same day. One thing to note, if you have tasks with no due dates, they simply won't appear on the calendar. So calendar view essentially shows scheduled tasks. It's a good practice to assign due dates to tasks that truly need them, so your calendar is meaningful. Gantt view, timeline. The Gantt chart view is a more advanced timeline view. It shows tasks as bars on a timeline, including their dependencies and how they overlap. It's great for project managers to see the overall project schedule and critical path. Let's now try a Gantt view. Click plus view and select Gantt. The Gantt view will open. On the left, you see a list of tasks, often grouped by list or folder. And on the right, a timeline with bars for each task. Initially, if not all tasks have dates, Gantt might prompt you to add dates. Ideally, to use Gantt effectively, each task should have a start and due date, or at least a due date. Adjusting bars. On the timeline, you can drag the edges of a taskbar to extend or shorten the duration. This changes start or due dates accordingly. You can drag the whole bar to move the task in time, rescheduling it. Dependencies. This is a key feature of Gantt charts. You can view dependencies between tasks, meaning task B can start until task A is done. In ClickUp, to set a dependency, either open a task, add a dependency in the task's relationship section, waiting on task A. Or in Gantt view, hover over the end of a taskbar and drag a line to the start of another taskbar to link them. Once linked, if you move task A later, task B can show a warning or also move depending on settings. Zoom. You can zoom the timeline in and out to view by days, weeks, and months. Use cases. If you have a project with multiple tasks and strict deadlines, Gantt is your friend for visualizing slippage or overlap. For example, a construction project plan or a product launch plan can benefit from Gantt to see if tasks overlap too much or if one delay will push others. Remember, Gantt is more useful when tasks have dependencies and defined durations. If you're just doing simple task tracking without dependencies, you might not use Gantt much, and that's okay. It's there when you need it. Switching and combining views. You can create multiple views in each space, folder, or list. For example, for our demo project list, you might have demo project list view, demo project board view, demo project calendar view, demo project timeline, Gantt view. There'll be tabs in the views bar. You can pin important ones or even set one as default for everyone. So if your team prefers Kanban, you could make the board the default view for that project. Each user can also personalize what view they last look at. One more neat thing, custom views like table, similar to list but a bit more spreadsheety, or timeline, which is like a simpler Gantt, exist. And also mind map view, workload view to see each person's task load, etc. Those are beyond our scope here, but good to know that they exist as you get more advanced. Tip: using views effectively. Use board view in team meetings to drag tasks as people give status updates. It's interactive and engaging. Use calendar to do weekly planning. See what's ahead and adjust due dates if overloaded. Use lists when you need to bulk edits or exports or see details. Use Gantt for formal project planning and dependency management. And remember, all these views are just different lenses on the same tasks. Edits in one view reflect everywhere. If you mark a task done in a board, it's done in list and disappears from calendar after its date. All right, now that we can visualize and organize tasks, let's talk about collaborating with your team on those tasks using comments, notifications, and docs inside ClickUp. Chapter number 5, collaboration tools, comments, mentions, and docs. Project management is not just about tasks and dates. It's also about team communication and collaboration. ClickUp provides several built-in tools to help your team work together. Comments on tasks for discussions and updates. Mentions to ping people, link tasks, or docs. ClickUp Docs for documentation, wikis, or any long-form content your team shares. Chat view and real-time collaboration. Optional chat feature and live editing. In this chapter, we'll show how to use comments and mentions to streamline teamwork and introduce ClickUp Docs for knowledge sharing. Task comments and notifications. Every task in ClickUp has a comment thread at the bottom. This is where you and teammates can have conversations about the task without leaving the context. It's far better than an email chain because the discussion stays attached to the work item. Adding a comment. Open a task, for example, design homepage mockup. Click where it says write a comment. Type your message, for example, @John. How is this coming along? Can we get an update by Wednesday? When you type @ you'll see suggestions. If you type @ and a person's name, you mention that user. For example, @John will notify John about this comment. If you type @ and a task name or ID, you can link another task. Useful to say this is blocked by @task. If you type @ and a doc name, you can link a ClickUp doc. Go ahead and post a comment tagging a teammate. The mentioned person and anyone who is a watcher will get a notification. This is great for asking questions, requesting updates, or adding contexts. Assigning comments. A nifty feature. You can assign a comment to someone. Maybe you leave a comment. Please fix the typo in the attached file and assign it to a designer. This creates a mini task out of the comments. The assignee will see it in their home under comments to resolve. Once they address it, they can check it off and it will mark the comments as resolved. Deleting comments. If you made a mistake, hover over your comments. You will see edit and delete icons. Also, you can react with emoji on any comments for quick ACKs or thumbs up. Notifications. All these common activities generate notifications. The bell icon, notifications, or inbox will show. Best practice. Encourage the team to comment on tasks instead of sending separate emails or Slack where possible, so the info stays within the task. Using mentions and links. As mentioned, the @ is very powerful. @user notifies a user. @task links another task. Example, this depends on @website copy task. Now, there's a reference link. The other task gets a backlink showing it was mentioned here, so nothing falls through cracks. @doc links a document. We'll talk about docs next. @team. If you set up team groups in ClickUp, you can mention a whole group, but that's more advanced user management. #tag. If you use tags on tasks, typing hashtag allows referencing a tag or searching by tag. Less used, but if you tag tasks, you can filter by #tag. Rich linking. You can also paste a URL of something, like a Google Drive link, in a comment or description. ClickUp may unfurl it or at least make it clickable. For tasks and docs, always prefer the @ because it's cleaner. Mentions also work in task descriptions, in docs, basically anywhere you have a text editor within ClickUp. ClickUp Docs, wikis, and team notes. Now, let's move on to docs, another big part of collaboration. ClickUp Docs are like a built-in wiki or Notion-like docs, integrated with your tasks and projects. They're great for storing project briefs, meeting notes, SOPs, right within ClickUp. To create a doc, on the left sidebar, use the quick action, the plus button up top, and select Doc. You'll be prompted where to create it. You can create a doc within a specific space, folder, or list, or just in the workspace. Let's make a doc in our demo project space called Website Project Plan. The doc editor opens. It's a rich text editor similar to Google Docs or Notion. You can type text, create headings, bullet points, etc. For example, write a project overview, requirements, or any free-form text. Docs can have pages, hierarchy within the doc. You can add subpages to organize content. Think of a doc as a binder and pages as sections. Key collaboration features of docs. Real-time editing. Multiple people can edit a doc at the same time, and you will see their cursor. Yes, just like Google Docs. It's great for collaborative note-taking or brainstorming. Comments in docs. You can highlight text and add a comments or overall comments on a doc page, similar to task comments. Team members can discuss content and even resolve comments here. If you mention someone in a doc comment, they get notified. Linking docs and tasks. You can link doc to tasks or vice versa. For instance, in a task, you might attach or link a relevant doc. In a doc, you can embed tasks. Yes, you can actually create a live embed of tasks lists in a doc or use the command to reference tasks. This is useful for status reports or documentation that always shows latest task info. Sharing and permissions. Docs can be kept private to you, shared with the workspace, or even made public, shareable via link if you want to publish something. Doc templates. There are templates like meeting notes to speed you up via the template center. Now that you created a website project plan, maybe add some contents, headings for goals, timeline, etc. We won't deep dive writing a doc fully, but know it's there for all those needs that tasks comments aren't ideal for, like long-term documentation. Teams often use docs to create a knowledge base or project wiki right inside ClickUp. The benefit is everything is in one place. For example, a marketing team might have a doc for brand guidelines pinned in their space, or an engineering team has a runbook doc. In our example, the website project plan doc could outline the objectives of the website redesign, color schemes, etc. So any new team member can read it to get context, and tasks refer to it. Live collaboration tools. A few other collaboration features in ClickUp. Whiteboards. We'll cover it in the next chapter on whiteboards specifically, but it's a collaborative canvas too. Tips for collaboration. Consistency. Decide with your team where discussions happen, e.g., use task comments for any work-related conversation, use docs for meeting notes, and use external chat for casual or urgent comms. Having that understanding prevents confusion. Mentions. Don't over-mention everyone on everything, but do mention the person who needs to take action or who the comment is directed to. This way, that person gets a ping. Attach relevant docs or files. Save time by linking things instead of writing long explanations. E.g., see the requirements in the @website project plan doc. Now, everyone can click that. Stay within ClickUp. It might be tempting for some team members to revert to email. Try to pull those conversations back into ClickUp for transparency. You can even forward emails to ClickUp to create tasks or comments, if needed, to keep everything centralized. Now, we've tackled tasks and communication. Next, let's look at some higher level features, goals to track objectives, and whiteboards for visual collaboration, which can further enhance team project management. Chapter 6, Goals, Docs, and Whiteboards. Note, we already introduced docs in the previous chapter because they fit with collaboration. In this chapter, we'll focus mainly on goals and whiteboards, two distinct ClickUp features, and touch on docs just to connect the dots. Beyond day-to-day task management, ClickUp offers tools for high-level planning and brainstorming. Goals, a feature to set measurable objectives for your team and track progress automatically or manually via targets. Whiteboards, a visual canvas for brainstorming, mind mapping, and planning in a free-form way, integrated with your tasks. Goals, Setting objectives and key results. What are goals in ClickUp? Goals let you define an objective, like launch new website by Q2 or increase blog traffic by 20%. And then break it down into targets, which can be numeric or task-based. It's useful for OKRs, objectives and key results, or any target you want to quantify and track. To create a goal, number one, look at the left sidebar and click the More icon. From there, you'll see the Goals app with a trophy icon. Click it to access your goals. Number two, in Goals, click Goals. Give the goal a name, for example, Website Launch Q2. Set who is responsible for this goal. Set who has access to this goal, a due date, when should this goal be achieved, and a description if desired. Now, add targets to the goal. Targets can be numerical, e.g. website signups, target 1,000. And you update progress by entering a number or link it to a task completion. True/false or track completion, money, etc. Basically any unit. If linking to tasks, you can choose targets of type tasks, where progress is the percentage of those tasks completed. Once goals and targets are set, you will see a progress bar for the goal. When all targets are achieved, the goal is 100%. Team members can view the goals sections to see how they're doing on big project objectives. In practice, goals are great for things like monthly KPIs or big deliverables. A sales team might have a goal: close $50,000 in new deals, with targets tracking each deal value. A project goal might be tied to finishing all tasks in a project list. For beginners, goals are optional. You don't have to use them on day one, but they're there to help connect your tasks up to higher level outcomes. If you have clear metrics or milestones, give it a try. They provide focus by reminding everyone of the quantifiable finish line. You can also update goal progress manually if not tied to tasks. For example, a improve page speed to under 3 seconds goal might not be purely task-based. You could manually enter the current page speed weekly until it meets target. ClickUp's goals essentially serve as a lightweight OKR tracking tool within your project system. They keep the team aligned on big objectives, not just individual tasks. Whiteboards, visual collaboration. Whiteboards in ClickUp are a newer addition, introduced in 2022 and improved in ClickUp 3.0, to allow teams a space for visual thinking. If you have used Miro, Mural, or sticky notes on a wall, this is similar, but integrated with ClickUp tasks. What can you do on a whiteboard? Brainstorm ideas with sticky notes. Create flowcharts or diagrams. Mind map project ideas or requirements. Embed tasks or docs in a whiteboard to visually organize your work items. Real-time collaborate with team on a canvas. Let's create a whiteboard. Click on the More icon in the left sidebar. Then select Whiteboards, New Whiteboard. Once the whiteboard opens, you can rename it by clicking the name in the top left corner of the canvas. Give it a clear name, e.g. Website Launch Planning Board. A blank canvas opens with a toolbar of elements, shapes, notes, connectors, text, etc. Try adding a sticky note. Click the note icon, then click on the board. Type Idea, New Homepage Layout on the note. Add another one, Idea, User Testing Plan. You can give notes colors. Connect notes. Use a connector line to draw an arrow from one note to another to show relation, maybe sequence of steps. Add a shape like a rectangle or circle, perhaps to group things or denote a decision point. Now for the magic. Embed a task. On the toolbar, find the option for tasks. Click and it might prompt you to select existing tasks to add. Choose a task from our list. Say Design Homepage Mockup. It will appear on the whiteboard as a card. You can now visually place it in a flow or mind map. If you update it on the board, like Mark Complete, it updates the actual task and vice versa. It's fully synced. Whiteboards have templates too, for strategy frameworks, flowchart templates, etc., to get you started. Collaboration. Just like docs, team members can jump on a whiteboard and all contribute. It's great for remote brainstorming sessions. After a meeting, you might have a whiteboard filled with notes and tasks linked. For our website launch example, a whiteboard could be used in kickoff meeting to map out phases, e.g., a timeline flow with tasks for design, content, development, Q&A, launch, all laid out with arrows and dependencies. It helps people see the plan. Then, those items are real tasks that live in your project list. Whiteboard speed. In ClickUp 3.0, whiteboards got a performance boost. They're now much faster and smoother to use. So if you heard they were slow earlier, that's improved. So what are some of the use cases? Well, first is brainstorming. You can jot down ideas, group them, then convert to tasks. Process mapping. Draw your workflow, e.g., a flowchart of how content goes from draft to published, to train the team. Mind map features. If planning product features, mind map them, then turn into tasks or subtasks. Whiteboards might not be needed for every team, but it's a nifty integrated tool. If you already use an external whiteboard app, consider trying ClickUps so all info stays connected. Docs. All right, so we've covered docs earlier, but just to tie it in, think of docs, whiteboards, and goals as your high-level planning toolkit complementing tasks. Docs are knowledge base, project briefings, and meeting notes. Whiteboards is for brainstorming, visualizing ideas, and task relationships. Goals are tracking outcomes and success metrics over time. So for a thorough project management approach, you might start with a whiteboard session to brainstorm and outline the project. Write a formal plan and doc, create tasks from that plan, and then set a goal to measure success, all within ClickUp. All right, moving on, the next chapter is about one of the most time-saving features, automations. We'll see how to let ClickUp do some work for you automatically. Chapter number 7, automations. Work smarter with automatic actions. So, are you tired of repetitive manual updates? Well, ClickUp's automations can handle some of that busy work for you. Automations allow you to set up rules like when X happens, do Y for your tasks. So, for example, when a task is moved to done, post a comment or notify someone. When a new task is created in a list, automatically assign it to a specific person and set a due date. If a task status changes to in review, add a subtask QA check. And there are many more combinations. Automations in ClickUp consist of triggers, the events, conditions, optional filters, and actions, what to do. Let's set up a simple automation together. Creating an automation. Example. Suppose in our project, whenever a task is moved to done status, we want to automatically notify the project manager and also set the task to a completed category. Just an example scenario. So what we can do is go to the list or space where you want the automation. Automations are set at a specific level in the hierarchy. They apply to tasks in that location and below. Let's open our demo project lists. Look for the Automate button or the Automations menu. In list view, it's usually at top, lightning icon or something indicating automations. Click Add Automation. You might see templates, common automation recipes. Set trigger. Choose status changes. It'll then ask to which status. Choose done or whatever your completed status is named. Optional condition. We could add a condition if needed, e.g., only if priority is high. Skip that for now. Set action. Choose add comments for notifying PM or send email or update field. We want to notify PM, so simplest is to add comment with mention. So select add comment as action. In the comment text, type @PM. Task automatically marked done. Please review. Replace @PM with the actual user or role. This mention will notify them. Now, save the automation, name it like Notify PM on Done. Now, let's test it. Take a task in that list, change its status to Done. Within a few seconds, you should see ClickUp Bot add a comment. Task automatically marked Done. Please review. And the PM will get notified, and the task gets a tag. Voila, automation working. This example shows how you can customize to your workflow. Now here are some popular automations for beginners. Auto-assign tasks, e.g. when task created in list X, assign to @John and set status to new. Great if each list has a default owner. Recurring status moves, e.g. if status changes to in review, assign to QA person. Reminders, when due date arrives, post comments or send email to assignee as reminder. Cleanup, when task status equals done, move task to archive folder after 30 days with conditions. Create or apply templates. For complex tasks, you can have when task is created with name containing blog, apply template, blog task template, which could add subtasks like draft, edit, publish. ClickUp provides many triggers: creation, status change, priority change, assignee added, etc. And also actions: assign, change status, change tags, etc. Experiment with what could save you clicks. Automation center and recipes. If you click on popular, you'll find pre-made ones. For instance, when task created, then set custom field. Or when custom field changes, then change assignee, and etc. You can use those as starting points. Plan limitations. Note that if you're on free plan, automations might have limitations. For example, a certain number of uses per month. Paid plans have more generous automation usage. If you rely on them heavily, consider the plan impacts. Tips for automations. Start simple. One trigger, one action, see if it helps. Avoid over-automating. Don't create so many rules that you forget what's automated. It can confuse team if tasks jump around unexpectedly. Use automations to enforce your process. Check the automations log. You can turn off or delete automations anytime. With automations handling some grunt work, you free up time and reduce human error. It feels great when a task moves and things happen magically. Alright, so now that we have tasks, collaboration, high-level planning, and automations covered, our project is running smoothly. But how do we track overall progress and performance? Well, that's where dashboards and reporting come in, our next chapter. Chapter number 8, Dashboards and Reporting. Monitor your projects. Once you have a lot of data, tasks, assignees, times tracked, etc., you'll want to visualize and report on it. ClickUp's dashboards let you create custom reports and charts for just about anything. Project progress, team workloads, time spent, burn up, burn down, you name it. Think of a dashboard as a blank canvas where you add widgets showing different metrics or views. Task stats, e.g. number of tasks done versus in progress. Charts, pie, bar, etc. based on any task field or custom field. Time tracking reports, if you use time tracking. Workload by person, who has how many tasks or hours. Embeds, you can even embed Google Sheets or other stuff if needed. Alright, let's build a basic dashboard for our project to monitor progress. Creating a dashboard. On the left sidebar, click the More icon, 3 dots, then choose Dashboards. Click Dashboard, click Create Dashboard. Give your dashboard a name like Website Project Dashboard. You'll now have a blank dashboard ready to customize. Adding cards to the dashboard. Task list card for overdue tasks. Click Add Card. Under the Featured section, select Task Lists. Click Add Card. Rename the card to something like Overdue Tasks. Arrange the cards on your dashboard by dragging them. You can resize them to fit nicely. Now the team or stakeholders can glance at this dashboard to get status. How many tasks left and how many done. Who has a lot on their plate and what's overdue. Dashboards update in real time. There is a refresh and you can set auto refresh intervals. So as tasks get completed, the charts update. It's like a live report. Sharing and using dashboards. You can share a dashboard link with someone. If they have access to the workspace, they can view, assuming permissions allow. You can also make a dashboard public, maybe read-only link to a client so they can see progress without logging in. Now, if you have a big monitor in the office, some teams even cast a dashboard up on a TV to show project progress or sprint status in real time. For personal productivity, you might create a dashboard just for yourself, showing all your tasks across projects, maybe a donut chart of tasks by priority. It's very customizable. Editing. You can edit a widget by clicking the 3 dots on it. You can also clone or delete widgets. If your dashboard gets cluttered, consider multiple dashboards for different purposes. Reporting exports. If you need to send a report, you might export data from a widget. One more thing, portfolio widget. If you manage multiple projects, there is a portfolio widget where you can list projects and their completion %. That requires grouping tasks by projects, which might map to a folder or list. It's nice for high-level managers to see at a glance each project status. Dashboards versus in-app views. You might wonder, some info like task lists and simple counts you can also get by filtering in list view. True, for quick needs, just filtering tasks can show what's overdue. But dashboards shine in cross-project or visually rich reporting. It aggregates data, whereas normal views are usually one list at a time. Dashboards answer questions like, how many tasks did each team close this week? Show me all high-priority tasks across all marketing projects. Are we trending to finish by deadline? How many hours did we spend on project X? Now, with our basic dashboard set, you have a bird's eye view of the project. Alright, now we've covered nearly all core aspects of ClickUp. In the next chapter, we will talk about workflows and templates. Essentially, how to standardize your processes and save time by reusing structures. Chapter 9. Workflows and templates. Customizing ClickUp for your team. Every team has their own way of working. Maybe a specific set of task statuses, or certain steps that repeat every project. ClickUp is highly customizable to fit your workflow, and you can create templates to reuse setups and avoid reinventing the wheel each time. In this chapter, we will discuss custom statuses, workflow stages, and how to set them up. Task templates, list templates to quickly replicate common tasks or projects. Other template types for views, docs, etc., and how to manage templates. Custom workflows, statuses. Now, out of the box, ClickUp gives a simple status workflow. To do, in progress, complete. But you can create any statuses that match your process. For instance, a content team might want idea, writing, editing, approved, and published. A software team might use backlog, in development, in Q&A, done. Each space or folder can have its own status set. Let's customize statuses for our website project. Number 1, click on the 3 dots menu for space or folder and choose space settings or folder settings, then find task statuses. You will see current statuses listed. You can add new ones, remove, or rename. Suppose we want open, in progress, in review, approved, completed. We'd rename to do to open, add a status, in review, add a status, approved. Remove any not needed. And then click on save. Now all lists under that space/folder will use these statuses for tasks, unless a specific list has its own custom flow. If tasks already had alt statuses, they will map, or you might need to adjust them to one of the new ones. Now your team can use those specific stages. This helps clarity. People know exactly what in review means in your context. Now, pro tip, document what each status means, maybe in a space doc or in the status description field, so everyone uses them consistently. Another workflow aspect, custom fields like drop-downs, checkboxes, etc. These are beyond just statuses, but part of how you manage tasks. For example, a phase custom dropdown could indicate which phase of a project a task belongs to, design, development, etc. Or a client field if you have tasks for different clients in one space. You add custom fields via the list settings, and then they appear in tasks. If your workflow demands tracking something special, custom fields are your friend. One note of caution: avoid overloading with too many custom fields or statuses that it gets confusing. Keep as simple as you can while capturing needed info. Templates. Don't repeat yourself. Templates in ClickUp can save a ton of time. You can templatize almost anything. Tasks, along with subtasks, checklists, and descriptions. Lists, all tasks and structure inside. Folders or spaces, entire structure of lists and tasks. Docs, whiteboards, dashboards, views, etc. Task templates. Imagine you have a common task type, new hire onboarding with the same subtasks, IT setup, paperwork, training. Instead of recreating those each time someone is hired, make a task template. To create a task template, set up a task exactly how you want it. Subtasks, checklist, description, assignee may be left blank if it varies. Due dates can be dynamic or left blank. On the task, click the three dots menu, then click on Template, and then Save as Template. Give it a name, New Hire Onboarding Template. Choose what to include, and then click on Save. So now next time you need that task, instead of creating from scratch, do plus add task. Hit Browse Templates and pick your template. And voila, all subtasks and details populate. You can also apply a template to an existing task. List/folder templates. If you run similar projects repeatedly, you will love this. For example, every time you onboard a new client, you need the same 20 tasks. So create a template from one completed project list. Click the menu on the list, then Template, and Save as Template. It will save the entire list with tasks. You can choose to remove assignees or due dates in the templates, so it's generic. When a new client comes, create a new list from that template. All tasks appear. Then just assign people and set dates appropriate for the new project. Huge time saver. Similarly, a folder template could include multiple lists. E.g., a folder template for product launch might have a list for design tasks, a list for marketing tasks, etc. All pre-filled. Launching a new product? Just add folder from template, rename it for the product, and update specifics. Managing templates. All templates are accessible in the Template Center. On quick search, find Template Center to browse, edit. You can share templates with others. ClickUp has a community library too, where users share their template setups. One best practice: periodically review templates to ensure they're up to date with your current process. For example, if your onboarding process changes, update the onboarding task template. Using templates with automations. Now, earlier in automations, we touched that you can automate applying templates. For instance, a bug tracking list could have an automation. When a new task created, automatically apply the bug task template that inserts subtasks like reproduce issue and write test case. This blends templates and automation for consistent structure with no manual effort. Workflows beyond ClickUp. A short aside: designing a good workflow in ClickUp often means thinking about how your team operates. Sometimes teams get excited and turn on all Click apps like goals, sprints, time tracking, and then realize it's too much. It's okay to start with a simple workflow: to do, doing, done, and gradually evolve it. Tools like ClickUp are very powerful, but process comes first. If you have a clear process, implement it with statuses, custom fields, and templates. If you don't yet, start simple and adjust as you learn pain points. For example, maybe initially you don't use in review status, but then find QA gets lost, so you add it. That's fine. Or maybe you realize every task of type X always needs 3 subtasks. that's assigned to create a template or an automation. Quick tips. Use emoji in status names or tasks names for clarity or visual cue, like green check mark or the color design status. Not necessary, but some teams love it for quick scanning. Template names. Name them clearly and maybe include a category, e.g. prefix with task or project, to distinguish task versus project templates in the lists. You can also have checklist templates to reuse common checklists inside tasks, e.g. definition of done checklists. Now, if something is not template worthy but you want to reuse, you can also simply duplicate a task or list. ClickUp has duplicate options. Duplicating is a one-off copy. Templates are for reusing anytime. Alright, now you've tailored ClickUp to your team's workflow and created shortcuts for recurring processes. We're almost at the end. In the final chapter, let's go over some power tips and final thoughts. Little tricks that will make you a ClickUp ninja, plus a quick recap and next steps. Chapter 10. Power tips and final thoughts. Congrats on making it this far. By now, you've already learned the core of ClickUp for team project management. In this closing chapter, we'll share a few powerful user tips, shortcuts, and common pitfalls to avoid, and wrap up with how you can continue mastering ClickUp. Power tips and shortcuts. / commands. In any rich text area, task description, doc, comment, try typing a /. A menu appears with lots of options. You can quickly insert things like table, dates, or even /attach to upload a file, /do to set a due date, etc. Keyboard shortcuts. ClickUp has quite a few. Some useful ones are press Ctrl+K for Windows or Command+K to jump to search bar. Then type to find tasks quickly. Mobile app and email. Don't forget that ClickUp has mobile apps and even an email to task feature. If you're on the go, the mobile app lets you comment and update tasks. If someone emails you an issue, you can forward it to a special address to create a task in ClickUp. Each space/list has a unique forward address. Favorites. If you have a frequently used filter or location, mark it as a favorite. Then, under favorites in sidebar, it's just one click away. Save filters. In any view, if you set a filter, say only show tasks tagged urgent, you can save that as its own view tab so you don't need to refilter every time. Templates for everything. We talked about templates, but it's worth noting you can also create templates for status workflows to reuse in other spaces and even import or export templates from outside. If you have multiple teams in ClickUp, share your templates with each other. ClickUp University and Docs. ClickUp has an online university and a very detailed help center. If you're ever stuck or curious about a feature, for example, what are nested subtasks or how to use all spaces view, the help center is great. They also have webinars and a community forum. Common pitfalls and how to avoid them. Overcomplicating structure. It's exciting to create many spaces, folders, statuses, etc. But too many layers can confuse the team. If people are asking, where do I find X task? You might need to simplify. Sometimes one space with multiple lists is fine instead of several spaces. Use the hierarchy quiz. ClickUp or Process Driven has one, if unsure how to structure a particular process. Notifications overload. ClickUp can send a lot of emails and notifications. Encourage team to fine-tune their notification settings. Maybe turn off some email notifications if they check in app. Also, don't ever add everyone unless necessary. Not cleaning up clone tasks. Over time, a list can accumulate hundreds of completed tasks which can clutter views. Use filters or archive feature. This keeps active views clean. Ignoring permissions. If you have sensitive projects, make sure to set those spaces as private. Similarly, if adding a guest, an external collaborator, remember they'll only see what you explicitly share, and shared with me section can be confusing if you share singular items. To avoid confusion, share whole folder if possible so they see context. Expecting perfection on day one. There's a learning curve. Your first project in ClickUp might be a bit messy, and that's okay. you'll refine. Don't give up because one approach didn't work. Try adjusting the workflow or layouts. Many teams iterate a few times before nailing the ideal setup. Final thoughts and next steps. You've now got a solid foundation in ClickUp. You know how to create and organize tasks in a hierarchy, use different views to manage and visualize work, collaborate with comments, mentions, and docs, use goals for big targets and whiteboards for creative planning, set up automations to eliminate drudgery, build dashboards to monitor progress, customize your workflow with statuses and templates, and some advanced tips to boost efficiency. As a beginner, the best way to learn is to use it. Start managing a real project in ClickUp with your team. Refer back to chapters of this tutorial if you need a refresher. Share this guide or key point with your team so everyone is on the same page. ClickUp is dubbed the everything app for work. It can replace many different tools. However, remember, you don't have to use everything. It's okay if you still use Slack for quick chats or Google Drive for certain docs. Integrate them with ClickUp where it makes sense. ClickUp can be your central source of truth that links out to other tools as needed. And remember, the best way to support my channel is to sign up to ClickUp using my link down in the description of this video. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.